I am so uncomfortable in front of the camera, and the only way to get comfortable in front of the camera is to be in front of the camera and just get used to its gaze pouring into your soul, scooping out this blank inglorious concavity where your personality used to be. Hello, children, it's your Tito Frank, and welcome to another episode of whatever the hell this is. You know, things have started to relax now. We've gone from ECQ to GCQ, which is like a general quarantine, and slowly, you know, things are kind of creeping back into whatever can pass as normalcy in these days. History beyond this point is going to be divided with pre-coronavirus and then post-coronavirus, and that's just the way it's going to be. Fortunately, I have had a lifetime of introversion and a general aversion of crowds, and I think that has prepared me for this cataclysmic moment in history. I am like a social distancing world champion. I have been social distancing since I was a teenager, although I'm not sure if it was just a matter of people distancing themselves from me. That is also viable. Throughout the quarantine, I tried to keep myself busy. It doesn't take a lot of effort to try to keep myself busy. There's just so much to keep myself busy with. And personally, I think it's a good thing to try to keep your hands busy, because in my case, it keeps me from sitting still and catastrophizing the future, which I have this tendency to do because I'm kind of negative. As time goes by, the velocity of life just keeps getting faster and faster until it gets to this breakneck pace. It just came to the point where it was overwhelming and it was very hard to keep up. That's why when the quarantine came, it was in a sense a relief, because it kind of put the brakes on the world. Not that that's such a great thing. And to be honest, I am thankful for that. I think the world desperately needed to hit the brakes. And for all the awfulness that a global pandemic brings, it gave us an opportunity to kind of wrap our heads around our lives. There are some good things that came out of it. Well, Mother Nature finally caught a break because, well, we're all stuck at home and we can't ruin anything, or at least not as much. There's nothing like a crisis to bring out the best in people, and we got to see a lot of that happening. It was a grassroots movement that just kind of swelled, and people started organizing themselves trying to help one another, and that's a beautiful thing. I come from a family of makers and tinkerers, and everyone kind of has their own thing. That's why the house is always in some kind of disheveled state. There's always something being built or sewn or knitted or crocheted or painted. There's always something going on, and everybody retreated into their own little projects. My daughter Sophie started learning Korean because she wanted to watch K-dramas without having to read the subtitles, and I think that's most people's motivation to learn another language. My wife made a bunch of masks for friends who needed them. They were pretty fancy. They had like filters and stuff. They were washable. Kind of look like this. This is one of her latest things. This is pretty nice. My daughter started a portrait donation campaign. She would make portraits for people in exchange for donations to various causes that help health workers, and she raised quite a bit of money and was even featured on TV. Friends would send things like cakes and food and stuff, and then we would have these virtual lunches together because we missed each other so much. We have taken to growing our own vegetables, and now my wife has started a little butterfly farm. She would save the caterpillars eating our plants and care for them and nurture them until they become beautiful butterflies. My wife has a knack for making things grow using her hands. I remember the first time I deactivated social media, it was like this dark veil had been lifted from me, and I could start feeling again. But the thing was, the pandemic affected a lot of people and a lot of friends and family. It affected people that I loved. I just wanted to make sure that the people I cared about were okay. So reluctantly, I went back to social media. And now maybe might be a good time to deactivate again because things are getting really toxic. Maybe one day I'll learn how to kind of strike a balance, because it's not altogether bad. I just need to kind of figure out how to... Okay, it's bad. I have no idea how to manage social media anxiety. If things get really bad, just deactivate. Come back to it when you're in better shape to handle all that that crap. The thing that really sucks the most is basically I miss my mom. My mom's a senior. She just turned 90 years old. It's fantastic. And we had a video call over her birthday to celebrate. But that's just it. I can't come over. I can't expose her to the virus because I might be asymptomatic and I can't risk it. And she lives so close by. She just lives a few blocks from here and I can't come up to the house to see her. And that really sucks. It breaks my heart. I think one of the biggest concerns of any of us here in the Philippines is that we don't have a lot of social safety nets. If you do catch this horrible virus, there's not a lot of help coming your way, and even if you do survive, you're gonna have a massive hospital bill. And if you don't survive, it's gonna be a massive funeral bill. So literally, I can't afford to die. But other than that, everything's great! I've been working out a lot because I have a lot of frustration and anger and anxiety, and it's fueling my workout, and I am in great shape for an old geezer. I am quite possibly in better shape now than I was in my sedentary 20s and 30s. As you get older, exercise becomes a really important thing. And trust me, kids, please, you don't need to be a gym rat. You can walk for 30 minutes a day, that's fine. And then, later on you'll want to do something a little bit more challenging. You don't think about it when you're young because you feel invincible, but then it bites you in the ass when you get to be my age. So trust me on this one. Remember back in the first episode when I said that the hardest part of this thing was starting it? Well, now I don't know how to end it. Except maybe to ask, hey, how are you doing? How was your quarantine? I do hope you guys are doing okay. Please take whatever precautions you can. Be sensible. Wear a mask and make sure it covers your nose. Don't do this because that's like wearing bikini briefs with your junk sticking out, and that's not right. That is not right. Wash your hands often, maybe a little more often than you should. Don't touch yourself. No, don't touch your face. You can touch yourself if you want. But I think above all else, be kind to yourself. Everybody you know has been impacted in some way, and everyone, quite possibly every person you'll ever encounter, has experienced some kind of loss. Be mindful of others, I guess, and try to live as gently as you can. Be kind to yourselves, okay? Alright, I love you, okay? I'm ready, are you?
I'm not.
Are you confident?
No.
She's not confident. Perfect. It's exactly how I want it. So ano yung sinabi mo kanina? Pakiulit lang.
Sabi ko, I need to watch a YouTube video on how to cut your hair. So I did, no? I looked for the video, played it, but I didn't watch it. I just started cutting. Kasi feeling ko na-channel siya sa akin by playing.
She was hoping to absorb it by osmosis. Intellectual osmosis.
I trust me. Charot.